This is Yes to Rest Friday, and we are at December the 2nd, 2022. And this is a Q&A pop-up today for the Daring to Rest Facilitator Certification Training. So those who are interested, I invite you to stay after we rest for 15 minutes. Yes to Rest Friday is an event we've been doing for probably a couple of years now. And it's free every Friday to come for 15 minutes of rest. If you don't know me, I'm Karen Brody. I'm the founder of Daring to Rest, and I'm also the author of the book, Daring to Rest, Reclaim Your Power with Yoga Nidra Rest Meditation. So I'm really excited to invite you to rest for 15 minutes. And we're going to be doing a practice that is a 61-point body rotation. It's not yoga nidra meditation, which is what we teach in our training, but we do teach the 61-point body rotation as well, because it's actually a part of the journey that we guide people, that we use to guide people into yoga nidra. Okay, so like I said, we'll do 15 minutes of rest. And then if you're interested in our facilitator training program, I invite you to stay for a pop-up, a very informal Q&A with me afterwards. Okay, so wherever you are, go ahead and either lie down or sit. You can even stand as you rest, whatever feels right for you today. You can do a slow walk if that feels right for you. Maybe just check in with your body and see what's the most comfortable position to rest in today. That can be sitting, lying down, even standing. And so we'll do this 15 minutes of rest. And what we do initially is just, if it feels comfortable to close your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes. This helps you move inward. You can also have them partially open or completely open if that's what feels right for you, whatever feels right. And just begin to notice the rhythm of your breath. So you're simply noticing the inhale and the exhale. Notice yourself breathing and see if you can be as non-judgmental as possible as you breathe. So no matter what the rhythm of your breath is today, just see if you can meet that and just be curious, like you're a tourist. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. And on an exhale, I invite you to let go a little more in your body, soften the body a little more on the exhale. Paying attention to softening the body on the exhale. Slowly move your attention to the space between the eyebrows and rest your awareness here at the space between the eyebrows. You'll practice a 61-point body rotation, moving awareness to 61 marma points in the body. These are just like acupuncture, they're energy points. If stress, tension, worry feels like it will release, that's fine. Otherwise, just simply be present. And you can repeat the body part if that feels more like it's enables you to be present. So we begin at the space between the eyebrows, moving to the middle of the throat, right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, middle of the throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, middle of the throat, middle of the chest, right nipple, middle of the chest, left nipple, middle of the chest, navel point, middle of the pubic bone, right hip, right knee, right ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe, right ankle, right knee, right hip, middle of the pubic bone, left hip, left knee, left ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. left ankle, left knee, left hip, middle of the pubic bone, navel point, middle of the chest, middle of the throat, and back to the eyebrow center. Resting in stillness at the eyebrow center. Dropping even deeper into your body on 3. Relax your shoulders. 2, soften your limbs. And 1, drop deeper into your body. Noticing sensations in the whole body. Whole body awareness. And now, led by your body, see where your awareness wanders to, where it drifts. What part of the body is calling for a little more attention, a little more tenderness today? And place your awareness wherever you're led to today. If it feels right, you can place your hands there as well. Bringing your awareness to that area. And as an entry point to receiving a message from your body, begin to ask your body, how do I feel today? And see what the body says. Maybe that particular area where you've brought your awareness to might give the answer. How do I feel today? See if you can meet whatever you receive without judgment, just like a tourist, being curious. Okay, this is what my body's telling me today. How do I feel today? And if it's useful, you might want to welcome an opposite feeling and notice that. And notice sensations in your body when you bring that into your awareness, if it's useful. And taking a few breaths into both. So holding these two opposites if you are, or simply how you're feeling today. Maybe even taking a few breaths. And thanking your body for being in communication with you today. Thanking yourself for taking a moment to listen to your body. Before we open our eyes, I'm going to invite you to notice resonance in your body when you hear this animal spirit card. This is an animal spirit that has a message like medicine. And today it's the monkey. And the monkey says the situation calls for adaptability and innovation. The situation calls for adaptability and innovation. Again, notice resonance in your body. Whatever this means to you, this medicine, this monkey medicine, the situation calls for adaptability and innovation. And then very slowly and gently, when you feel ready, open your eyes and come back. Coming back whenever you're ready. And of course, you can keep resting if that's what you need. Pay attention to whatever you need. Yeah. So if you're new to Yes to Rest Friday, and like I said, we're going to have a pop-up Q&A. You might be here for the facilitator training, interested in our facilitator training. You can stay on and we'll chat about that. But if you're new here and you haven't been before, I really invite you to tell us where you're resting from around the world. It's always fun to hear where women are resting from. And maybe if you want to share what came up for you, anything that came up for you, please feel free to do that in the chat. We do that for the last few minutes. And then we will transition and have an informal pop-up Q&A about the Daring to Rest Facilitator Training. I'm really happy to answer your questions. We're actually at the end of our early bird pricing and also our longest payment plan. So I know some women really want to get some questions answered. So I'm just going to hang out and chat with you all, whoever wants, a little more info. And the information for that training program is at daringtorest.com/facilitator. And I'll talk about it more in just a minute. But yeah, okay, Erin resting with legs up the wall in Philadelphia. Chrissy, resting from St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. Richard, or I think it's someone else, but we're resting in Newcastle, UK. Emily, lovely, thank you. I'm feeling uncomfortable today, so it felt good to bring in comfortable. Resting in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Karen, resting from Belgium. Susanna, resting in Portugal. Trisha, resting from Oregon, USA. Joanna is resting in my kitchen in Yorkshire, UK. All right. Laura, resting in Eugene, Oregon, with some snow on the ground. Anna is resting from Toronto, finally live. Hey, welcome, Anna. Beautiful, beautiful. Susie, I drifted off a little today, resting in Scotland. Falkirk, yes, beautiful. Oh, wow. I love hearing where we're resting from. It's just so yum. Karen says, Karen had eyes closed. Can you show card one more time and repeat the text? You know, it's so funny. I usually show the card afterwards and I didn't. I've never picked monkey. This is monkey medicine. The situation calls for adaptability and innovation. So here's the card. Yes, here is the card. So however that resonates for you, right? And maybe what resonates is like nothing. There's not much there, but maybe just pay attention. We started with rhythm, the rhythm of our breath. We rested our bodies with the 61-point body rotation, and we ended with resonance. One of the people who will be inside the Daring to Rest Facilitator training is Dr. Ruben Nyman, and he talks about rest, rhythm, and resonance. These are like the three sisters of rest. They're cousins. so to speak. And I love bringing them into our Yes to Rest Fridays, because the more you practice it, the more you know that even if you do one of these, just noticing your breath, you've taken one step further to being a rested woman. So yeah. Graciela, yes, resting in San Diego, California on the US-Mexican border, ancestral Kumeya, I hope I pronounced that right, land. Felt amazing to ask my body how it feels. Yeah, we do this a lot at Daring to Rest, a lot. And because rest is radical, and guess what? When you rest, you know how you feel. It's a pretty simple equation, but really hard in our culture because we've been brainwashed not to rest and therefore not to feel. So giving yourself permission to rest gives you permission to feel. Joanne says monkey card does resonate at the moment. Need those dealing with seemingly unsolvable issues. Yeah. So if this resonates for you, just take this medicine into your weekend. I'm going to transition to this pop-up Q&A because I know some of you are here to learn more about the Daring to Rest Facilitator Training. Again, daringtorest.com/facilitator. And hopefully you have checked out that page. But I will say a few things before we, I take some questions. And, this is very much, you can unmute yourself, ask questions. And by the way, I should have said at the beginning, I record these, but just the audio. And also on YouTube, we do put my face, but we don't record anybody else. So you will not be recorded. So just so you know that, if you want to show your screen, again, you will not show up in a video or anything like that, but your voice will show up or, be in the audio recording. Okay. So yes, the Daring to Rest Facilitator Training. Well, this is like the love of my life because for me, we need rest guides around the world. And the whole mission of Daring to Rest is to help women get rested and to help people who want to share the message of rest, share the message of rest. That's really our mission. We're really about creating a rested world ultimately. So our facilitators don't just support women. However, the training itself is for people who identify as women. We really open that space so women can rest their nervous systems and be together. And there's a deep sisterhood, deep community. I do feel that we are better together. And therefore, also a big mission at Daring to Rest is community. It's community. So I invite, any questions, obviously, here, but also I want to just give you a little bit of an overview of the Daring to Rest Facilitator Training. And I might even show my screen to just, take you through the curriculum itself, like the journey. It's a 1-year journey. It's all online. It's you can do it from anywhere in the world. We just had women finishing this Daring to Rest Facilitator Training, literally from all over the world. You saw Susie making a comment here. She's in Scotland and she just finished the training. There's lots of women who have been very, very profoundly affected by the training, and they're now even immediately sharing the message of rest. So I'm really excited to kind of I'll just show you a little bit about the training, and then I'd love to take questions. Again, this is kind of informal. There is a more formal presentation at daringtorest.com/facilitator, but I thought I'd just take you through the curriculum itself. So we have the training structure itself. We start with practicing rest. This is like rest for you. We then go into teaching you how to teach rest. And then we go into really deepening into how you're going to share the message of rest, giving you a lot of personal attention. So the practice rest starts with our 40-day Daring to Rest program. This is a signature program that I outlined in my book, Daring to Rest, Reclaim Your Power with Yoga Nidra Rest Meditation. This is really, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's, it's a natural time to hibernate. It's a natural time to be wintering. But this is hibernation time. Sometimes we winter in spring we actually have a woman who already joined the training, and she's in Australia, and it'll be, a different season for her. But it's really time to incubate, hibernate, get creative, and feel that power of rest in your bones, and learn the Daring to Rest method, which is what I outline in this 40-day program in my book. And so you're going to actually be practicing rest. So we're going to spend 40 days starting at the end of January. We start January 30th to do this 40-day practice. And then we move into the Teach Rest. And we start with module 1, which is the foundation. We just start to just ground you in the foundations of, one of the main practices that will teach you, and you'll become, you'll be able to teach at the end, is Yoga Nidra meditation, which is a sleep-based, very transformative meditation. It's a practice that it's not just a technique and a meditation. It's really a state of consciousness that we guide people into, that takes them to a place that is thoughtless. So if you think about stress is our thoughts. So we literally help people power down using this powerful practice of Yoga Nidra. So I give you the science and the history and the Daring to Rest method itself, which is a method that takes the umbrella of rest and says, how can we put this at the center of our lives and really look at the layers of rest, the mental exhaustion and emotional exhaustion we hold, the physical exhaustion we hold, and the soul exhaustion we hold, right? Not moving towards our soul's calling, not even knowing our soul's calling because we're so busy. So we talk about that. We talk about the heroine's journey. We very much frame this experience as a heroine's journey, not only for you to teach that, but especially for you to feel and understand the journey you're going on. In module 2, we move into the Yoga Nidra script. This is when you'll really take this deep dive into the map that is the Yoga Nidra experience, and you'll learn how to lead this practice. Everything we do is embodied in this experience. I think this was it's always a really big shock for women who come into the training. This is not your typical Yoga Nidra teacher training. I'm not saying others, there are so many great ones out there. So honestly, you can't go wrong. I feel like very much so we weave embodiment into every single thing we do. The third module is the Art of Facilitating Daring to Rest programs. So here is really where we work with you on how you're going to create your own unique rest programs. And that could be using the Daring to Rest method or not using the Daring to Rest method. Everyone's different, but you will learn the Daring to Rest method because this is a method I created after teaching this program for so many years with women. I do it yearly. I've been doing this since, oh my gosh, way before rest was even talked about. In fact, it was laughed about. Everyone laughed. Oh yeah, rest. And now people are starting to get it. But I started guiding women in 40-day programs. So you're going to be able to teach a 40-day program if you want to, but you also, we have a woman in Belgium who's teaching a Daring to Rest 40-day program in Dutch right now who took the training this year. So you can do that, or you can create your own rest programs. We really work with you about finding the themes that light you up. We call them the jewels, your jewels. And again, we take you on a very embodied journey to find your jewels so that the programs you offer come from that space. We also talk about holding space. What is holding space and how do we hold space for people? So all of that comes into this module. Then we go into the ways of rest. There are so many different kinds of rest. And so we move through the different kinds of rest. We help you create what we call a rest medicine basket, not only for your personal practice, although this month you will be invited to choose one of the rest practices in your rest medicine basket to practice, but also what you're going to teach if you choose to teach. Not everybody, some people take this training for the advanced practices, just the advanced teachings. And other people take this because they absolutely want to teach. I would say 75% of the people want to at least sprinkle it into their existing business or they want to completely create a rest business. And some people think they want to sprinkle it in. Actually, like you're going to hear, there's a podcast being released this weekend with Ayanna Jackson, and she thought, oh, I'm going to sprinkle it in. And now she's offering breaking the cycle of exhaustion for Black women. She's offering, like, that's her thing. So be prepared to be surprised. I guess that's what I want to make sure to communicate to you, because this training and 1 year of daring to rest for you and dreaming on how to use this training to help others is going to surprise you. You're going to have a lot of surprising moments. Module 5, sleep, dream, awakening. Like, these are 3 pillars that Dr. Ruben Nyman, my favorite sleep doctor in the world, he talks about, and we bring him in to the training to speak with you live, and also there are recorded master classes where you learn the science and spirit of sleep, dreaming, and awakening. And really, if you're going to teach rest, you have to have that grounding. So it's almost like getting a sleep training inside of this rest facilitator training. We absolutely help you have the language and know the landscape of sleeping, dreaming, and awakening. And we end with the feminine leadership model. And this is really part business, but I would say the business is really in the framework of feminine leadership, how so many women were caught in this cycle of really good at impact, really good at serving others, and not so good at the income piece. So we talk about that. We talk about a feminine leadership approach to business, and we really talk about how we can have more healthy patterns in the ways we work, live, and lead. That is when I'm looking through the feedback from women who take this training. Some of the biggest things they say is it's not only impacted their work, it's impacted their life. And it changes how you lead. After we do these modules, which is teach rest, we go into share rest for 6 weeks. So this is super unique to many trainings. We actually end the live training with lots and lots of space to support you to start leading Yoga Nidra. If you choose. Some people aren't ready, they don't feel ready. Most people surprise themselves and they actually lead Yoga Nidra during these 6 weeks, and they get a lot of support from a teacher trainer. So it's myself who teaches. I'm the lead teacher, I guess you could say. And then there are 3 teacher trainers, 1 in Canada, 1 in New Zealand, and 1 in Australia. And we all support you throughout the training. And you will get, in a smaller group, this share rest experience. And so with a smaller group in the training, maybe 10 people max, you'll be able to really get lots of feedback from a teacher trainer that helps you gain a lot of confidence to lead Yoga Nidra and also to be crafting your rest programs. So in certification, which is about the last 2 months of the program, we end share rest in mid-November. And the last 2 months, you have until January 15th to certify of 2024. You're going to be having time to meet one-on-one with your teacher trainer. These are the things that, honestly, when I took some really great teacher trainings, I didn't get enough feedback on leading Yoga Nidra. I didn't get enough feedback on the rest programs I wanted to create. And this is where we really help you customize your rest programs. Again, you get lots of feedback, and you're invited into our larger Daring to Rest Facilitator alumni community, which is like your big rest sisters. Again, I want to emphasize, we are all about community at Daring to Rest. This is not just you can just take the training and that's all. Absolutely. But many women love to stay because it's hard to find rest positivity in this world. It's hard to stay on the rested journey. It's hard to facilitate rest programs without having touch points into how to do this and to continue to receive mentorship and sisterhood. And we do that. It helps for accountability, everything. So the next steps would be to go to daringtorest.com/facilitator. I'm going to take questions now. I just want to make sure you do know that December 4th, which is this Sunday at midnight Eastern, is the last time to receive the early bird pricing for full payment. So just to give you that background, and also our longest payment plan, which is a 12 monthly payment plan. So I see a question already from Pam. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, and anyone else, go ahead, and happy to take questions. Yes, Pam.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
I'm very new to this. I just found you like a month or so ago, so I'm definitely a beginner. So for the training, it looks really fascinating. I am looking to change my career, so I'm looking for something that speaks to my heart rather than my head, right? And yet I still want to make a living. So what are the options after the certification for, I know you say people teach, so the point is you'll create your own rest program for something that for your own audience, and then essentially start delivering that. So how would you market something like that? I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, everybody's different, right? So we do work with a whole range of people. Some people have already been teaching, some people have not been teaching at all. So it really, truly depends. A lot of times people will start locally in their local communities. Starting online is not impossible, but they're right now, I mean, there's so many people interested in rest. We often have women starting with a simple rest circle where they're showing up to guide a rest circle, for example, or they're offering a 40-day program because this training actually helps you immediately teach something as comprehensive as a 40-day Daring to Rest program. You could be offering that in your community. And from there, for example, we had one woman offer the 40-day program about twice a year. And then she had an ongoing rest circle where people, after the 40 days, everyone falls in love with each other. Everyone wants to continue to be supported because being rested is a lifelong, journey. And so she had an ongoing rest circle that people fed into. So she had those two income streams, so to speak. I mean, I can't promise everyone, I'm not a magician.
No, I know, I
I
understand.
wish I was. So everyone, I've seen women take the training and immediately start making income and using it obviously for impact as well, making a difference. But yeah, I can't predict each person and their lives and the pieces that maybe make that a little more complicated.
Right, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
So the training is only offered once a year, starting in January. Is that true? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right now it's a 1-year experience. We really, honestly, we're all on a journey together. We used to do it twice a year, but I've been sticking with once a year right now. Right now,
Okay.
it's a year.
And I heard in one of your slides, what is a personal embodiment practice?
So the embodiment practices, we do a range of embodiment practices. And each month you'll be invited to usually I will guide you in it, and then you'll kind of go deeper in the month. So each month you'll meet live with me once on this. I think I'd have to look on at daringtorest.com/facilitator, but the whole schedule is there of the dates and everything. But I think I meet on the Tuesday with you all, the second Tuesday, and then the fourth Tuesday you meet in a smaller group with your teacher trainer in a small mentorship circle. And the embodiment practices, they really range. For example, in the Yoga Nidra script module, the actual journey of Yoga Nidra is a journey that takes you through not just different koshas, but we focus on these 5 koshas. In yoga, these are like 5 energetic centers, almost like chakras that exist within us. And I guide you through a intuitive process of asking your body which kosha to work with. So you'll, just like we did at the end of Yes to Rest Friday today, where I said, sort of drop into your body on 3, 2, 1. We will keep bringing our facilitators back to their bodies, to drop into their bodies and let their bodies be the guide as to what kosha they choose to work with, and then how they work with the kosha. So it's a little hard to explain, but we just keep taking women into their bodies and also, just beginning to feel what it feels like to be rested in your body. I don't know if that really gives you the full, they're really comprehensive embodiment practices. They're just, we might have to, like for that one in particular, we did what's called an energetic scale. And so we had women lie down, they rested first, and then we had them literally place their different koshas on an energetic scale from what calls to their soul and what doesn't call as much to their soul. So the body was choosing.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you could use some of these practices as a way to get in touch with your soul's purpose, and then use that to manifest things in your life that you probably weren't aware that you really desired, or things that you're truly called to create.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, yes. In module 3, I take you on a journey to discover your jewels, which is really, the gifts you hold inside yourself, and what, I do a yoga nidra around that. Yeah, there's a lot of ways. And in your small mentorship circles, you'll even go deeper in a smaller way with, in a smaller group with each embodiment practice.
Okay, so each of those dates and times is already on the website.
Yeah, everything's
Okay.
on the website. I think it's the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month, starting in April when we start module 1. Before that, you're going to be in a 40-day Daring to Rest program that meets on Wednesdays, weekly
Okay.
on Wednesdays.
And then
Yeah.
when is the first time that you'd be like maybe ready to start just doing something locally in your community, just even if you're not charging for it, but just to get some experience?
I would say if you have never practiced yoga nidra and you're completely new to this, it could be after module 2, which would be in May of 2023. That's when we will start to encourage you to start to practice. You'll have template scripts or not just templates, the actual scripts that you can use. We also help you to customize scripts and make up your own scripts because we teach you the whole Yoga Nidra map, but we start you, it's almost like training wheels. We give you scripts, and every Yoga Nidra I lead, you'll have the script for that. So you'll be able to see that journey written as a transcript.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Pam. Any other questions? Go ahead and unmute yourself or raise your hand, whatever works.
I have a question.
Yes, Vicky, hi.
Hi, how does this work around work schedules? I'm still working as a nurse full time. So, yeah, it gets weird. So how does this work around work schedules?
Yeah, such a great question, because we've been doing this training now for 6 years. And actually, one of our teacher trainers, she was worked full time as a learning specialist at a university, and she didn't come live to anything. She did it all on replay. And I really, and she's a phenomenal yoga nidra teacher now, and she has a whole business online with aromatherapy and yoga nidra and lots of rest experiences. She does rest rituals and all of these things. So she and many others, because there's people in other time zones, for example, we have a woman who joined just for this upcoming training who's in Australia. So for my time that I teach, she will be listening on replay. We had a woman, Lori, last year in Japan who listened on replay. We got to know Lori very well because we connect in our Mighty Networks, which is a platform almost like Facebook where we have a circle where we all connect there. So you can listen to the recordings. Everything's recorded, everything's downloadable. That is, if people cannot come live, they listen to the recordings. A lot of people usually find it's possible to go to a small mentorship circle because the small mentorship circles meet at different times. So we can usually slot you into a time that works. There's evening times, there's daytime. It usually works for people to go at least once a month to something live. And then mine, if you're working in the middle of the day, it probably won't work for you. So you'd be listening on recording. But we do connect a lot in Mighty Networks. I'm there all the time to support people.
Thank you. That helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to talk to someone who did not come live, we can connect you to that person. But we have lots of people who are working full time and they watch it on recording. We don't require people be there live because we've just seen this work. We've seen the magic work through recording. And all the teachings are pre-recorded audio teachings with a transcript that you'll get at the first of every month in April, May, June, the 6 months of the teacher trainings. So you'll get a lot of material that everyone will be listening to. It's more like a self-paced experience, but then there are 2 live touch points each month for mentorship and embodiment practices and deepening into the material, of course. Yeah. So that was helpful, Vicki. Yeah. Any other questions? Again, daringtorest.com/facilitator is where you go for any any deepening that you haven't got here. Okay. We start in January 2023, January 30th. We meet just before the 40-day program starts. So the 40-day program will be with more people than just our training cohort. We do this so that you really see the power of women resting and you can feel the magic of how you might create an experience for people. And so you can really focus on your rest, you resting. Yes. Okay. Yes, Kim. Hi.
Hi. So I'm pretty new. Well, I've known about Yoga Nidra for a while, but I haven't done it much. And I haven't done anything like the 40-day rest series. And so I'm just wondering, but I feel really called to this. It's like I remember last year seeing it and I wasn't quite ready to do it, but I'm just wondering, is it appropriate for someone like me who is very interested and very motivated, but really does not have much Yoga Nidra experience at all to sign up beyond just the 40-day series?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. We actually require and have now built the 40-day into this training because we did find that if women just started the training and had no Yoga Nidra experience, it was hard for them. It was, it was a little, overwhelming. And so this is why we built the 40-day program in, and then you go into the training. We probably have, I would say 50% of the women who take the training have no Yoga Nidra practice.
Oh, okay. That's really, I did not expect that. That's good to know.
Yeah, no. And as a matter of fact, one of our teacher trainers was telling me she's working with a woman one-on-one now in certification. And I knew that, like her and lots of people, they didn't come in with any experience in Yoga Nidra. No.
Good,
So,
good to know that I wouldn't just be the outlier.
oh, yeah.
That was it's good to know. Thank you.
There might be 1 or 2 people who've taken a Yoga Nidra training before or have some Yoga Nidra, and certainly maybe 50% have been practicing in some way. Usually they're not practicing as much as they want to. So they actually fell in love with Yoga Nidra and thought, oh, maybe this will help them to start practicing more. And then like 1 or 2 people will have taken a Yoga Nidra teacher training. And usually they find those who have Yoga Nidra experience just find this is a very different training than they had experienced before. So it's kind of meets everyone where they're at.
Oh, good. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Any other questions? I encourage you to look at the FAQs, the frequently asked questions at the end of daringtorest.com/facilitator. Just, yeah, so if there are questions you have that, might be answered there, but you can reach out to me, Karen at daringtorest.com. And yeah, I mean, this training is, it's hard to hear it from me because like I'm the person who teaches it, but I encourage you to listen to, we have a series of women who've just taken the training called Rest is My Radical Next Step. And there's a part 1. If you go to daringtorest.com /podcasts, you will see the different podcasts that I do. And we have part 1 is with 3 women who were in, again, I talk about these small mentorship circles. So the small mentorship circles, we decided this year to interview 3 women from each of the mentorship circles, the small mentorship circles, with their teacher trainers. So you get to meet the teacher trainer as well. So there's one that's already out, that's with Shalay Lennon, who is a teacher trainer in Calgary, Canada. And there's 3 women there. Silke, who she is a shiatsu and massage therapist in Vienna, in Austria. Sarah, she works with men. She now it's leading a program called it's a 40-day rest den for men program since the program that she took this training, and she's in Italy. And then there's also another woman who I'm blanking out right now. That's crazy that it's not coming to me, but there's a lot of women to listen to their stories. And coming out this weekend, and you'll get an email about it tomorrow, there's part 2. And I really encourage you to listen to Ayanna Jackson, to listen to Kristen, who created this rest spiral garden. She's a horticulturalist, and she took this program, it's really changed her life as a mother as well, and how they rest at home and everything else. And then Cheryl, who is a social emotional learning coach in Vermont, and how it impacted her business and her life. So really listen to those, because that's them telling you from their words. I can say, all I can say about the details here, but you can hear more the nuance of what this training is like from those women. Okay. And then Chrissy has a question here. If we applied for a scholarship and don't receive it, is it still possible to utilize the payment plan, or do we need to sign up by the 4th? Oh, great question, Chrissy. Actually, we're sending out an email to everyone who applied for a scholarship. That ended yesterday. And thanks for asking that. Yes, we're going to get back to people by December 15th, and absolutely the long payment plan will still be available, because we know you all, if you don't get the scholarship, we will give you that option. So it's not a problem at all. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to looking through those applications this coming week. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to meeting you if it feels right for you to join us. If you feel called, it's really about a calling. Honestly, I think you're going to be surprised in terms of you hear Kristen in the podcast that comes out tomorrow talk about, her surprise at just, she didn't realize the feminine leadership part that we were going to bring in. Those pieces were completely new to her, but it all connects. Because if you want to share the message of rest, you need to know rest in your bones. You need to really feel rest, and you need to be living rest. And so we bring that in. We really make sure that that's a thread that moves through the training. We keep coming back to that so that you are rested, not perfectly rested. Nobody's perfectly rested. I started daring to rest because, of course, that's my medicine. Like, that's what I need. I need to dare to rest. So most of us in the Daring to Rest facilitator training are people who are like recovering from burnout. We've had a chronic burnout, and we need to choose a new way. And we need to create a new way in the world, because if the world's going to change, in Daring to Rest, we talk about doing from the being. And so we teach you the being. The being is the rest. Yeah, to come from a place of being. So, any last questions? I'm happy to answer any last questions you have. Okay. Just a reminder, daringtorest.com/facilitator, the early pricing for the full payment ends on this Sunday, the 4th of December, and the 12-month payment plan does, unless you're in this, you've applied for a scholarship, and then you will definitely be able to have that 12-month payment plan as well. Okay. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the rest to begin with. Again, if you didn't hear me introduce myself before, my name is Karen Brody, and I really, I created this Daring to Rest community for us, for women who need to feel rested and also have the desire to share the message of rest, whether it's modeling it to our home in our homes or whether it's sharing it on a bigger scale. It really depends on you. Okay, be good to yourselves, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And if it feels right, I'll see you in the training program. Bye, everyone. Thanks.